who is basically Joe Rogan's doctor. My girlfriend has some sort of reaction to the vaccine along with long COVID or something. No idea what caused it, but that's the angle. There's evidence that mRNA vax spike protein can cause similar symptoms to long COVID. Is niche, though.
Again, to take on what you just said. No, not everyone, and not everyone who gets paid. Joe Rogan is bigger than every single show at CNN combined and gets paid more than every single person at CNN combined. And he was 100% right about this thing through the entire time.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he
No, he wasn't.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get this point out here.
Hell yeah. He was so right, dude. Ivermectin all the way. Like, what are we talking about? He was right about COVID. I feel like right-wingers have just like existed in a totally separate universe. You know what I mean? It's just, what are you talking about, bro? He was like, he was doing horse paste. He was hitting the horse paste meta like pretty aggressively. This is what happens when you only watch Joe Rogan. This guy's like a libertarian, right? I think he hates me too, but.
Okay, how about, you know what you just revealed last month on Pat's show about ivermectin?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was saying that, and you were smearing him for saying that.
Yeah.
You literally said he's taking horse dewormer.
Yes.
He should be ashamed of himself. You pleaded with your audience to not take it.
Yes.
Then you come back around and you go, hey, Pat, you know what I just found out? Turns out this thing isn't for animals. Turns out humans are. But Chris,
that's
a 5-minute Google search and you would have known that.
First of all,
how do you not apologize to Joe Rogan?
Listen, do you know who disagrees with you? Do you know who disagrees with you? The people who make ivermectin disagree with you.
Hold on. What do they disagree?
I didn't even realize this was like a right-wing gripe that they're still doing. I thought we had moved past this one.
Disagree with me about?
That the drug should not be taken as a standalone for COVID-19.
I never said it should.
That's what Rogan was saying.
No. He did not. No, listen. See, this is the thing.
Bro, oh my God. Dude, it's crazy how passionate this guy is about defending Joe Rogan. Like, there's no more politics in this conversation. Like, he is this passionate about just simply defending Joseph Robinette Rogan, dude. And by the way, Joe Rogan absolutely said ivermectin for COVID. What are we doing? He said he's throwing the kitchen sink at it, including, but not limited to, ivermectin. Why is this such a big point of fucking contention? It seems like you want to defend him, but also simultaneously, living in 2024, recognize personally that, you know, it was a silly Billy thing. Because if you didn't feel that way, you wouldn't be fucking this passionate about defending it while also simultaneously talking about how it's, you know, not for COVID.
Chris, that is a lie. That is a blatant lie. Joe Rogan. So you just pretended that I said it's a standalone for COVID. No. Here's what it always was. Here's what Joe Rogan said. My doctor prescribed it to me, along with several other medications, just like your doctor prescribed it to you. That's what he said. What I'm saying is that it's not horse dewormer, as you and everybody else at CNN mindlessly repeated.
Now,
what he said, no, let me finish. What he said, and what I'm saying is that it is a medicine that's been prescribed to people millions and I think billions of times. And it was totally demonized. Why? You already said why. You said it 2 years too late, but you already said why.
No, here's why.
Because no one owned it.
Here's why. What Pat has on his desk right now, you do not want to take, okay? It is the veterinary grade ivermectin. People were so desperate to get it because they were told it was a panacea. It was a cure-all.
Who told them that?
It was online.
Well, you just claimed Joe Rogan said it. You claimed I said it. Neither of us have said that.
But, so hold on. So why was there a rush on ivermectin all of a sudden?
Can I tell you my honest opinion about that? Okay, it's that the medical establishment and the corporate media so humiliated themselves that they lost trust with the entire American people. And then, yeah, there were some charlatans online who were saying, "Oh, go take this," and they trusted them.
Please, here's what happened.
Okay? If you think Joe Rogan said, "Take any form of ivermectin you can get, and you'll never get COVID,"
I'm not blaming Rogan. Here's what happened. And
you should be apologizing to him.
And again, listen. Listen. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. Also, let me tell you why I think apology.
That's pretty cool, man. We're doing a little bit of historical revisionism. We're doing a little bit of fucking ivermectin defense in 2024. If you came out and you were like, insulin is good for COVID, and people were just like rushing to like get insulin across the board, insulin's not even a good example because it's like for most famously used for diabetics. It's just like, but it didn't have any medicinal properties, any sort of properties to save people from COVID. Yeah, people would still understandably in mainstream media say, this is ridiculous, this is false. It was fucking snake oil. And plenty of people were hawking it. And these like contrarian charlatans were also, because they saw that there was an audience for it. It wasn't even necessarily because they were firmly committed believers in ivermectin. It just meant at that time, saying that you believe in ivermectin as a fucking cure-all for COVID meant that you were an anti-establishment truth teller.
Apologies in this context are a stunt, okay? We don't accept apologies. Nobody accepts apologies except as an admission that you weaponize. That's why Trump never apologizes. He's right. Because if you apologize, everybody just beats you over the head with it.
Trump's got a lot to apologize for, and so do you.
I'm just saying, as a concept, and you should too on this, and I'll tell you why.
What should I apologize for?
Here's what happened. Ivermectin, it wasn't because the media said don't take it, so everyone took it. The media wouldn't unless people were taking it. Use your head. So here's what happens. They're prescribing it like crazy. They actually stop physicians from being able to prescribe it, which I think was a mistake. They then start giving out veterinary grade ivermectin, which, as the word would suggest, you shouldn't take, right?
Because doctors were prescribing veterinary?
No, people were desperately trying to get it online. They couldn't find it. Okay. Ivermectin is the most studied potential treatment for COVID of all of them, which was a complete waste of money. And it was all done just to play on the politics of this. Merck, that made ivermectin, put out a statement during this saying, we do not advise it to be used for COVID-19. You can't find research that is seen as impressive by the research community that proves that ivermectin is effective in treating COVID-19. Rob can find you 100 studies, right? Listen, you're wrong on this.
No, I'm not.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because they're mad at me too, by the way. You think you guys are alone?
So,
no.
But why are you taking it
Here's
then?
why. My doctor, I didn't take it during COVID-19. And I didn't take hydroxychloroquine when I was sick with COVID-19, even though a lot of people thought they were being nice by sending it to me. Why? Because the research isn't there. That's why. With long COVID, okay? Not long vax, that's a different thing. If it's going to get recognized as such.
What?
I don't know. They won't say that yet.
What?
Long COVID.
Is Chris Cuomo a fucking anti-vaxxer? He's saying long vax? What the fuck is long vax? Bro, they're using different language? Long vax? What the fuck is a long vax? It's the PC term for a vaccine injury? What the fuck?
COVID, they're now saying exists. There is research. Is it dispositive? No. Do the people on the government levels and the research communities like that I said that I'm taking it? No. Do they think I'm setting myself up for lawsuits? Yes. But my doctor, I believe, is in the vanguard of people who are figuring out long COVID. And she has a lot of the same problems, by the way, with me and with the pandemic that you do. And she has found research, and she has had her own experience in using it in a combination with many other things where she believes.
Wait, he should apologize to Joe Rogan. He should. This is damn near verbatim identical to what fucking Joe Rogan was saying. Yeah, you found a fucking quack doctor who is basically Joe Rogan's doctor. My girlfriend has some sort of reaction to the vaccine along with long COVID or something. No idea what caused it, but that's the angle. There's evidence that mRNA vax spike protein can cause similar symptoms to long COVID. Is niche, though. I love how both of these brilliant scientists are talking about, you know, the latest and greatest in medical research.
It may be able to help. Now, I've been taking it. I don't feel any better. Does that mean it doesn't work? No. But
it's
that's
safe.
why I'm taking it.
It's safe and it's not horse-based.
It is definitely safe, but it's not horse-based because it's not horse-based.
But
that is horse-based.
By the way, no one ever at CNN during this time, when they were all saying it's horse dewormer, everyone was repeating, no one ever said, we're talking about the veterinarian ivermectin. That's because we're not talking about the ivermectin that doctors prescribe. Right. No one ever said that. But listen, you told me I should apologize. So what do you think I should apologize for? And then I'll tell you what I think you should apologize for.
Well, I know what you think I should apologize for. Obviously, there was so much talk that they don't want you to take ivermectin. Ivermectin is the way to go. Take it. Joe Rogan got better from ivermectin. And by the way, I don't like what people did to Joe Rogan about ivermectin. I don't like it.
You did it.
No.
You did.
Find the clips.
But, dude, find the clips. You shamed Joe Rogan.
Find the clips.
You said he's taking horse dewormer. You and Don Lemon were chuckling at each other about it.
No,
I'll go find the clip.
First of all, you just saw the clips.
I'm
not chuckling. I'm listening to Don. But
no. The clip I'm talking about wasn't on there, and it's absolutely there. Here, do we have it? Hold on. Let's play the clip.
Go ahead.
Injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to. Oh my God. What person? You know, you talk about like, cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves.
That's what it is.
They're shaming themselves.
So you're taking a dewormer right now.
Chris,
you can't apologize for that. You weren't being clear that it was this, and you know that, dude. You're being so dishonest right now, man.
I'm not being
You were talking about ivermectin, the drug. You were not talking about this version of ivermectin.
Get his ass, bro. I'm on board. Holy shit. You look gay as fuck right now. Look at this man.
I love how gay people take like a construction company and just homify it.
Is that a real cat?
It was Urban Outfitters, but I cut the sleeves.
It was Urban Outfitters, but he cut the sleeves off, he's saying. All right, well.
I'm going to Pride.
All right, have fun.
We'll see you later for the pod.
Be safe. Don't get too drunk.
Come on,
I was responding to a situation where we were told that this is what people were searching out.
Bro, he cooked them. This guy, Dave Smith, right? That's his name? He fucking cooked his ass, bro. Respect. He fucking cooked his ass, bro. Yeah, he made pasta up in this bitch. He did. He's like, dude, you literally straight up verbatim made fun of Joe Rogan and now you're doing that thing. You should apologize to him. This isn't even like hypocrisy baiting or whatever. This actually unironically is more valid of a fucking consideration than I previously thought it was. Because I didn't know that Chris Cuomo has now become like this guy who is taking ivermectin for long COVID or whatever. Okay. It's just like, what are you doing? What the fuck? I didn't realize that he was on his like grifter arc a little bit. Yeah, he's right. These guys are right. He fucking absolutely made fun of Joe Rogan for taking horse dewormer and making fun of him for taking dewormer in general, which is obviously like, again, not useful for COVID anyway. Yeah. He literally said long vax. That's crazy.
And nobody knew what it was going to do to me. Look, I'm taking the drug right now. Obviously, I don't think it's all poison. I stopped calling it the horse drug when, and you can not like it, CNN's chief medical officer, who is Sanjay Gupta, said to me, you shouldn't just call it a horse dewormer. There's a whole legitimate aspect of the drug. I wouldn't use it for COVID-19, but it's not just a veterinary grade. So I stopped calling it that.
So, okay.
And then it went away.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this. One of the best moments during the pandemic was when Dr. Gupta, who was just mentioned, went on Joe Rogan's podcast. For all the days of CNN like demonizing Joe Rogan, they send their top doctor out there onto his show, and he goes, why is everyone on your network saying I'm taking horse dewormer? Ivermectin's not. And Dr. Gupta looked down at his lap.
What is this? What is happening right now? This man has a photographic memory only for the Joe Rogan show. Yeah, well, like, how is this still a point of contention in 2024? I'm actually legitimately shocked at how invested he is to like defend Joe Rogan like this. Dude, orbiters are fucking awesome. I really should have fucking cultivated an entire community of orbiters. They just go out there. They have like photographic knowledge of every single thing that you've said and everyone who's wronged you. And they fight your battles for you like this. Like, that's crazy. No, he has been on Joe Rogan's show a bunch. He's a libertarian who's actually, he's like pretty outspoken about Palestine, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's what someone was saying in the chat. I feel like I've seen some clips here and there. Joe Rogan is the alpha. We must protect him. I just have never been this passionate about defending. Bro, I wouldn't defend Karl Marx this fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of sad. For me, I mean.
App and went, yeah, no, they shouldn't be saying that.
Well, Sanjay was the one who corrected
there was a better,
Sanjay was the one who corrected us.
No, actually, after that, he went back and laughed as Don Lemon called it horse dewormer again, and then I guess later corrected you guys. But then there was a moment. This was the best moment. And you got to remember the context of this. This was during.
Bro, they're playing Joe Rogan clips. How are these adult men not embarrassed about this? You with LeBron? Okay. I love LeBron. He's a generational talent. But, like, you're insane if you think I'm going to sit there and yell at LeBron haters like on an entire broadcast like this. Like, my dick riding for LeBron is mostly memes, okay? Everybody, like, I need to have one thing that I'm, like, really invested in. This is crazy. I would never fucking defend LeBron to this degree. Unless he balled with me, in which case I probably would.
The vaccine passports, okay? The point when the people like me, and I'm sure a lot of you, were basically turned into second-class citizens, weren't allowed to go into restaurants, weren't allowed to go to sporting events, weren't allowed to go into a lot of different office buildings, things like that, and you, personally, along with everyone at CNN, cheered that on. You mused and joked around when you were interviewing Dr. Fauci about what rights the unvaccinated should have. So Dr. Gupta goes to Joe Rogan and says, it is in the middle of all this. He goes, so you're going to get the vaccine? And Joe goes, no, I just had COVID. Why would I get it? I got natural immunity. It's stronger than the vaccine. And Dr. Gupta went, yeah, that's a good point. He had nothing for him. He had no response. It's like when you were, listen.
That's not even close to accurate. Okay?
Yeah, well, remember last time we played the clip and I was right? Remember last time?
You weren't right about that either. You weren't right about that
Chris,
either.
Dude, you're in denial here, man. It's so clear.
He's getting owned.
He's
getting fucking owned. This dude is absolutely cooking him. Holy shit. It's just so dumb, though. Like, why is this a debate? Like, what? Oh, dude, people have wronged Joe Rogan. Let's debate. Like, what? Can we just, like, remove ourselves for a brief moment from, like, the immediate point of contention here and just try to look at this with, like a broader, with a, you know, without the horse blinders on, get an accurate snapshot. It's the year 2024. Okay. It's June 2nd, 2024. We are having a debate. We're watching two people debate about being sufficiently pro Joe Rogan, not being sufficiently pro Joe Rogan, and how one party must apologize to Joe Rogan. What an insane fucking conversation. Like, this is two grown-ass men, bro.
Again, here's the main difference. You may not say it this way, but this is what I think you're suggesting. You believe that you were demonized for not taking the vaccine, and that was wrong because it was right to not take the vaccine.
Okay. No. I don't, first of all, I don't believe I was demonized for taking the vaccine. We just played video proof of it. Me, and it's not me, it's me and tens of millions of Americans were demonized to take the vaccine. Now, when you say it was wrong because you weren't supposed to take the vaccine, I think, and this is summing up a lot in a short period of time, I think there was a strong argument in the initial wave of COVID, if you were old and sick and had never had COVID, it might have been a good idea.
What if you lived with someone who was old and sick?
That probably wouldn't have done anything. Literally, it's not going to stop.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I do know what I'm talking about.
The science is obvious on this. The first, look, again.
Chris, you got a lot of nerve not apologizing and then telling me I don't know what I'm talking about.
What do you want me to apologize for? For telling people to take the vaccine?
Okay, let's just stick with Joe Rogan. For mocking and smearing a person from the #1 show at CNN and then years later admitting he was completely right about what he said. How is that not attached to an apology?
I'm losing my fucking mind. They're literally like, he's crying. Bro, they trust these nobodies with scientific facts, but not actual scientists or doctors. What world we live in? I'm losing my fucking mind a little bit. I never really thought that like this would be a point of contention in 2024, bro. It's like, oh my God, dude, getting vaccinated is good. Okay? It's good. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, rich people literally skipped a line to get vaccinated. Rupert Murdoch, vaccinated. While his entire fucking media network was telling people not to get vaccinated, his ass was vaccinated to the gills. Okay? You guys are so fucking stupid. The real reason why capital owners wanted you to get vaccinated is because you're cattle. They wanted you to have a much shorter period, a much shorter refractory period, a much shorter period of time away from task. That's it. But that still implies that the vaccine is good in the sense that it cuts down a lot of the worst aspects of getting COVID. You are a fucking asset. You are cattle. That's it. That's the beginning and end of the conversation. But if ultimately it did not have a very high likelihood, scientifically demonstrated high likelihood to basically lower some of the worst aspects of getting COVID, then rich people wouldn't have taken it first. You're fucking stupid. If it actually like, I don't know, changed your gene structure or, caused everyone to is causing everyone to die, even though they haven't died yet, but they will any day now, myself included. That was the case. Rich people wouldn't have taken it. Hasan is on the wrong side of history when it comes to COVID. I'm confused. Is HasanAbi anti or pro-COVID vaccine? And maybe Rich took fake COVID vaccine to tick the masses? What are you saying? Bro, they didn't take it in broad daylight. They were fucking skipping. They were skipping the line. Okay, you have to remember, at a certain point, like, we are now dealing with like undiagnosed schizophrenia, or maybe diagnosed schizophrenia. I don't think this argument would be convincing to someone who already doesn't trust people. Half of the fucking conspiracy theorists are literally analyzing a problem of capitalism, but have a genuine inability to understand the world through materialist terms, and therefore substituting dialectical materialism or materialist thinking with literally just like idealistic, silly nonsense like, oh, there's evil people out there, lizard people, in many instances, Jews. So no, those guys also don't trust the rich, but they just don't understand it. Their trust is not within the structures that bind us, but instead is like about certain rich people.
If I ever smeared someone aggressively and then 2 years later I had to admit that I come out and just say what you said to Pat on his podcast was exactly what Joe Rogan was saying this whole time. You go, first of all, it's not horse dewormer, it's used on people, it's very safe, and my doctor prescribed it to me. That's why I'm taking it. Yes, if I ever did that to someone, I would apologize for that.
But it's not the right context. And first of all, it's both, right? It's veterinary grade and human grade. I was not making a market.
Which one do you think Rogan was taking?
I hope he was taking the human grade if he was prescribed it.
Which one do you think Joe Rogan, who just signed his second $200 million deal, was taking? Do you think he was stealing it out of...
I think it's pretty impressive that he's able to take Joe Rogan's dick in his mouth and still be able to talk like this. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't realize how impressive a feat that is, honestly. Like, his mouth is fucking full. And he's still able to fucking communicate? Like, that's wild.
The cat bowl, or do you think he had a doctor?
I'm sure they prescribed it.
So then you guys were all wrong for demonizing him.
I think that it was wrong. Look, you guys want simple answers. You guys want simple answers to this, and it's not simple.
No, this is simple. This one is simple.
It's not simple.
The vaccine question might be more difficult. This is really simple, man.
The maker of the drug. You want me to apologize when the maker of the drug says don't use it for COVID, when all of the research says it is not effective for COVID.
Well, okay, first of all,
I should say Joe Rogan was right to say take it.
Chris, you're on it. What are we even arguing about here? You're on the drug.
Long COVID is different. Long COVID is different.
So first of all, just to be clear, and this is essentially the truth, right? There were some studies that seem to indicate that if you take ivermectin early in a COVID infection, there seemed to be some positive benefits. Then there were other studies that basically said, no, we're not seeing that. Now, I've heard a lot of experts, and this goes beyond my pay grade, argue that those other studies weren't properly done. Whatever it is, the reason why doctors were prescribing it to people like Joe Rogan and millions of other Americans was they were like, look, it's a mixed bag with the study. Some of them seem to indicate it might help. Some indicate it doesn't. But we know the drug. It's a people drug. And it's safe. So why not take this in your regimen along with a bunch of other things? That's the point. And you guys demonized him for that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Okay.
That's why they were prescribing it. I don't think they were prescribing it to be reckless.
No, that's right.
I think that's why they're prescribing it. But here's the problem with what you guys want, okay? It is not some research says take it, some research says don't, okay? It's just not that way, all right? And it's not even close. I'm telling you, I have not spoken with anyone in preparation for coming here tonight who said you can say ivermectin works with COVID. That is my doctor does believe it can be effective. She is cool. Her name is Dr. Robin Rose, and if you have long COVID, or someone you know has long COVID, look up Terrain Health, Robin Rose. She's doing her best. But the point remains the same. The point remains the same.
Dude, he's now getting, the crowd is eating a piece too. 5 million U.S. children with long COVID, but the chat rise for Palestinian children. The blind spots are glaring. Ableism in this chat is very, very high. This chat laughs at libtards, but genuinely sees no issue with participating in the destruction of every disabled person's lives. You might have BBT. Wait, what? I have no fucking idea what you are even trying to say. I don't. Are you okay? This is the doctor, by the way. She definitely has to be slightly off her rocker. Respect to this doctor. I have no idea what this person is saying. Like, Chatter hit the All Lives Matter. Chatter hit the All Lives Matter button, but for fucking long COVID, it feels like. Wow, you guys talk about Palestine quite a bit, which means you must want to kill American children with long COVID? Like, what? Like, I don't even know what the fuck the chatter's trying to say. If you're not talking 100% seriously about long COVID at all times, you hate people with chronic illness. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that. Long COVID Twitter is a weird vibe, but we are all the eternal forgotten, and our pain is terrible, and it's coming for you too. I apologize to Joe Rogan for disparaging long COVID. I think I did that. I don't know. I don't know what you guys want from me. I don't know what's happening.
What'd he say? I didn't catch that. Say it again.
A veterinarian.
Oh, that's funny.
Here's the issue. If you attack this doctor trying to see if this helps with medical issues like long COVID with no medical knowledge, you are doing the same shit they're doing. Yo. I do not know what healing properties ivermectin has for long COVID. I do know, however, that for short COVID, for like just regular old COVID, it definitely doesn't work. I am not disputing what long COVID is or what kind of impact long COVID has. Okay? I don't know what the fuck is going on in here at all. There's an unnecessary amount of hostility here for what people's assumed positions are of me, I think. Hegemonic world peace. That chatter is insane. What the fuck? That's a bait account. You're wrong. Is people getting triggered by memories of COVID? No, there's like a big constituency of people. There are like people who are still talking about like the most damaging aspects of COVID, and much like the case with every left-right political issue, the ones on the left are, I would say, sometimes overly cautious, but still on the right side of the conversation. People on the right side of the issue are just completely fucking delusional and off their goddamn rocker. But it still doesn't change the reality that like there's a lot of people whose brains have been broken irreparably on the matter. Okay? And even me saying this is going to cause people to lose their minds again. I think. If someone has worms, is ivermectin a good bet? I think.
If you're watching this, the way you get to vote for today's debate so far, because we got a bunch of other issues we got to talk about.
Like, how vote for what? Whether Chris Cuomo has to apologize to fucking Dave Smith or not? Is that what it is? Anyway, someone said I'm vax and lax. And to that person, I say, I'm a human being. Okay? Understandably, even vaccinating alone was not going to get us out of COVID. But also simultaneously, I was never an advocate for like China's zero COVID policy either, which was so damaging ultimately that people literally revolted against it. Why not? Because that is no way to live. What the fuck are we talking about? Like there are certain aspects of our COVID strategy that was genuinely damaging. Certain aspects of our COVID strategy was like legitimately restrictive and may have even led to like childhood development being stunted to a certain degree. Now, obviously, the solution in that regard wasn't to like completely shut off the schools or rather and just move on. It was smaller classrooms, hybrid education, and trying to create like there's HVAC solutions. I hate to admit this, but and of course, that was expensive as fuck of a solution, which is why we didn't do that. And instead, we took the, most extreme position we possibly could. Yeah, increased ventilation was a huge deal. In any case, there are diseases virtually invisible to us all the time. While Well, I am personally in favor of making it as accommodating as possible to every disabled American and every disabled person in general. Obviously, there's also the other side of this, which is, you know, normal societal functions must continue, considering that we are social beings in general. That is why I guess I'm more lax, vax and lax. If someone requires me to wear a mask for any number of different reasons, of course I will do it. All diseases are visible for those with eyes to see. True. All I'm saying is that there's a degree of accommodation that like everybody agrees is good and definitely must happen. And sometimes, you know, there are demands that go above and beyond that. But I think we can all agree that if you are against vaccine science, you're ridiculous. Like, people can get mad at me and say, Hasan, you're too vax and lax, but like, that's the fucking purpose of vaccines, man. What are we doing here? Like, the entire reason as to why we have vaccines, and we didn't just do zero COVID policies like fucking China, even though we did not have the political power to do so regardless. But like, the entire reason why we have vaccines is so that we can have some kind of societal return to normalcy. Like, that's the point of the vaccine. Anyway. Maybe I'm too simple of a man or too privileged in this regard. I just don't see why you trust Big Pharma. Do you really think they have our best interests in mind? I already explained it, brother. I already explained it to you. I don't know why you don't fucking understand it. We are cattle. The vaccines work. Therefore, rich people want everyone to take it. Why? Because they work. Why? Because they don't want you to fucking be in a hospital bed for weeks on end. And the vaccines did just that. They limited the amount of hospital time that you would have. They basically eradicated some of the worst aspects of getting COVID. It didn't stop it from spreading. Okay. It did have the capacity to reduce the spread, but it didn't completely stop it. But all of that was 100% at the behest of corporations. This is the issue here. Sometimes mega corporations can be aligned with the interests of the citizens, even when they're not. I just think it was more about the dollars. Yeah, well, that's because you're wrong. I don't know how else to describe it to you. If that wasn't the fucking case, there are places where the vaccine is free. Where there are places where like Cuba made the vaccines. They're a socialist country. They weren't fucking selling it. Why the fuck did they do that then? Like, this argument can be used against literally just medicine in general. I am not an advocate for capitalist medicine in general. These are all the same people who fed us opioids. Now you're moving the needle, okay? Now you are literally turning around and talking about an entirely irrelevant thing. Because you recognize that ultimately this part of the argument obviously gets fucking eviscerated or evaporated for the COVID vaccine. So you have to move to other issues. I never said doctors are always right 100%. Okay? You wanted to talk about what motivations would the medical community have, and then you fucking compare it to like doctors not giving a shit about whether cigarettes kill you or not. That's such a fucking idiotic comparison to make. Also, guess what, dude? Opioids work too, dumb fuck. They work a little too good. The problem with opiates isn't that like they don't work, it's that they work too good. What? Plenty of other pain relief meds. Like what? Wait, what? Bro's getting operated on and has like chronic pain, okay? And the doctor's like, yeah, dude, just smoke the ganj, my man. Thank you. Thank you, chatter. Clocksucker 420, baby. Blaze it. The devil's lettuce, baby. The devil's fucking lettuce, baby. Yeah. Doctor, hold up. I have to rip a fucking stogie, not pills that destroy your liver. Like, look, brother, I'm not fucking pro opiate for literally everything. As a matter of fact, I've personally talked about one of the major issues in American medicine being so fucking focused on like pain avoidance rather than treatment. Okay, that doesn't mean that there isn't use for these fucking drugs at the end of the day, which is why they're not completely illegal. All right. I don't know if you know this, we got nurses in here, we got doctors in this community. They're using fucking fentanyl every day on their patients. That might come as a surprise to you, but like, that's a real thing. There's a medical necessity for it. Okay. You can get numbing injections on site of injury. Man, shut the fuck up. You are not a doctor, okay? You are a dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Not all types of fucking pain relief can be simply done with topical injections or with topical pain relief. What are you talking about? Shut up. We've moved on so far from fucking vaccines because you can't argue on this issue. You can't argue on the efficacy of vaccines, so you have to fucking turn around and be like, well, what about opiates? And then make dumbass arguments on that front too. I hope that this is just a long, convoluted way to be like, you know what the real opiate is? The top of the hour ad break. It's the opiate for the masses. Yeah, when I was actively dying from sepsis, I need fentanyl and something else to knock me out while the IV meds worked. Well, guess what, dude? This chatter would have been like, hey, dude, smoke this ganja. Okay? Smoke this motherfucking ganja, baby. You would have been fine if you just smoked it, if you fucking blazed up. Anyway, going back to this, and I've talked about this before. I do think that our outlook on medicine as a whole in the Western world is like less focused on treatment and more focused on relief. And that's not necessarily a good thing. When it comes to like a lot of physical pain, a lot of muscle issues, a lot of physical pain can be rehabbed. But because rehab is hard and long and not as like effective in immediately offering a solution, when you're in pain, you want like immediate relief, right? A lot of people don't focus on that shit. And that doesn't actually fix the problem. Okay. And in a long enough timeline has the capacity to exacerbate the problem. Also, the other aspect of it is that a lot of times it's not fully covered by insurance either. So that's the reason why everybody goes, all right, dude, you got pain here. Let me give you a fucking pain reliever. In any case, that's a major issue in my opinion. Having said that, however, I wouldn't fucking turn around and be like, yeah, we should just cut this pain medication off. I love how every anti-vaxxer proves so quickly how incredibly little they understand about medicine. Yeah, I know. And that's the beauty of modern medicine and just like living in modernity in general, is that like society will keep them alive even if they desperately are destined to die, you know? Like that's the beauty of modern medicine, is that like when push comes to shove, someone with infinitely more knowledge than you is still going to keep your dumbass alive, even though in a different circumstance, if we didn't have this structure, if we didn't have this system, you'd be dead, bro. You'd be dead like 5 minutes in. We are actively working against natural selection. Actively. Motherfucker says CBD unironically. We're talking about people who need fentanyl, and he said, CBD, bro. Smoke of the ganj. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've heard today. Holy shit.
About right now with Trump, convicted felon, migration, dual citizenship. I'm not done. We're just getting started right now. You get to vote by sending a Manect to Dave Smith and to Chris Cuomo. If you can put their Manect up, ask him any questions, anything you agreed with, disagreed.
What the fuck?